Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your Sunday news report on Staten Island, Brooklyn, New York City, beyond. This is for Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. So let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, let me apologize. I reworked my entire office. Uh, Everything's still not in its final spot, but I need to order a mini table or something for the front of this camera because I don't have a table to put my microphone or my notes, so I'm going to be looking down a lot for my notes. So I apologize. Hopefully, this is rectified by next week. So, first thing, let's march into a good March. Can you believe it's already March? Next week, we're already setting the clocks ahead. Pretty crazy. So I think this year so far, this year so far is flying by. And it's been a very busy, very interesting year. Probably because it's been so busy is why it's been flying by. So, ready for launch. Ready for launch was last Monday, the 26th of February, and it was unbelievable. We had at least 20 people there, and our panel. So, back it up. Ready for launch is our real estate investment meetup group where we just discuss investing in real estate. Like the topic for this one was buying your first investment property, and we now have a panel. So we started doing this last year, and we were doing it monthly, and it was very exciting in the beginning, and then it kind of died off because it was just every month. I feel it was too much. We didn't have enough time to kind of recoup and have enough value for that next one to bring people in. So we took a couple months off. We reworked the entire thing, and now it's going to be every other month. So our next one will be in April. But this one, what a response. 20-something people there. We created a panel, we put together like a group of professional people, mortgage brokers, a mortgage broker, a real estate attorney, an expediter that can explain everything with like DOB and oath and ECB violations, and a home inspector to start. So they were all in attendance at the meeting and talking about getting your first investment property. Everybody was jumping in. Everybody on the panel was like, boom, like hitting with knowledge and, in their court. They were just kind of hitting you all around with everything. It went on for over 3 hours. We ended past 9:30 at night. We started at 6:15, 6:30. People started coming in. People came from Manhattan, Brooklyn, Jersey. So it was cool. It was really, really cool. We may have a listing hitting the market from this meeting. Somebody that came and decided, you know what? It's time. I'm going to list my house and I'm going to get a multifamily. So it looks like that may be happening this week. I'll give you guys info on that property should it go through. And it was just really, really eye-opening, really good. I received emails all week from our attendees and the panel people, and everyone's like, wow, like this was like a clinic. Like the amount of information we got, extremely valuable. Bravo, bravo, can't wait to come to the next one. It was pretty cool. So it went amazing. I will be announcing, of course, in the near future, I'll be announcing the April date and such, and if you could be there, definitely worth your while if you have any interest in real estate investing or even purchasing a home. I mean, you have everybody that you need, selling a home, buying a home, investing in a home, anything with a house. You have everybody that you need in one room. Your attorney, and you could use other people. I'm just saying you have an attorney to bounce questions off of. Any question, use it to your advantage. Anyone that comes to the meeting, you get their info. And now you could reach out at any time. You can call, text, email, whatever. So now you have an attorney in your pocket. You have an expediter in your pocket. You have a mortgage broker, a home inspector. Let's say you're going to see a house, you see something like, what the heck is that on the wall? Just text a picture to them and you'll get an answer. It's excellent. Excellent networking, excellent way to build up your base and your foundation of people in this industry. So that's that. I have a couple of off-market properties. It's the next thing I wanted to discuss real quick. We have a nice, older house, but in very good condition. It's on a huge, huge lot. The house exactly next door to them, this was maybe 20 years ago, but they sold and they ended up turning it into, I believe, 4 two-family buildings. With zoning changes and such in the last 20 years, you can't do that, but you could definitely build another house on the lot. Comps nearby, a block or two away, for two families, they just closed at like 980. So you could definitely build up on this one, convert to a two family, build a two family in the back. You have two families that could go for $1 million each, give or take. So definitely something interesting. We have a huge lot with commercial lot with like warehouses, commercial spaces. That'll actually be hitting the market this week, but that's definitely something for if you're looking for that type of thing. We have it. We have a detached colonial with a separate entrance basement. And we have a few more that we're kind of in the works with. But if you're looking for anything specific, let me know. And, of course, let you know if we have it or if we can get it. Mortgage calculator. I mentioned this last week. I created a mortgage calculator. It's on my website. And, of course, don't go by the numbers that you plug in there to make or break 100%. That's what you'll pay on a house you're interested in. But if you don't want to wait for your mortgage broker to get back to you, or you don't want to keep bothering them, not that you are bothering them, but sometimes you just feel like, I just asked them to run, 3 houses for me. Go to my website, go under the buy tab, buying, and you'll see mortgage calculator. Click it, use it, pop around in there. It's just a way for you to at least get a rough, say you're looking at houses all day on Zillow or Trulia or my website, and that would be nice. And you just want to kind of see this one's 550,000, and let's say you have 75,000 to put down, and the taxes are this, and boom, boom, boom. You should be able to find all that on Zillow, or of course I would help you as well. But use my calculator just to get a rough number. All right, it comes out to $3,000 a month. I know that's definitely within my budget. But $3,200 would be the top of my budget. So, okay, this seems like it could work. Let me take it to my mortgage broker. You know what I mean? If you want to do some research yourself, go ahead, use it. It's free. It's for you guys. Buying a home, selling a home, simply just living in a home. It always helps to have a list of people to call on when you need certain work or services done. I created a 2024 trades and services guide. My assistant will be calling my whole database within the next probably 2 weeks. We're not going to get started this week. We'll start that next week. And offering it to everybody. It's free. We'll just shoot it to you in an email. But if you have any interest, let me know. And I'll make a message below. And we'll get in touch. And I'll email it over to you. It's a pretty good list. I mean, it has everyone you need. Whether you need your house power washed, you need a fence installed, if you need a pool, if you need a plumber, an electrician, flooring done, if you need a real estate attorney, if you need, whatever, any life insurance, real estate, mortgage protection insurance, whole life, whatever, financial planning, it's all in there. Could be very useful for you. So get in touch. I'm creating a ton of content geared toward the average person in a real estate journey, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest. So that's something I'm going to start unveiling in the next couple weeks. I'll be asking for feedback and such, so check it out. I've been out there showing REOs, real estate owned, which is essentially foreclosures that went to auction, didn't sell, bank took it over, now they have it for sale. They've been hitting the market. There's definitely been an uptick, at least in, I feel there's been an uptick because it just seems like they're more prevalent lately. And then I have been seeing articles that are saying since January, there's been an uptick in foreclosures. But in my newsletter list, I did put a link to all available REOs right now. Get in touch with me too if you'd like to see that. And lastly, I always like to end with this part. If you have a property that needs fixing up or whatever, if you have something you need to sell, let me know, because I have an investor that will buy it today if they could. Actively looking at properties with them at least a couple of weeks, and it looks like we're going to definitely be getting, they want to get their next flip off the ground, and they're doing one right now, so we're looking to, get 1 or 2 going. So let me know, please. They're ready to go. So back to news. Let's start with the news. So general news on Staten Island. We'll go through all this quick. Recreation center breaks ground in Tompkinsville. We're getting a multi-million-dollar recreation center. I forget what the name is. There used to be one in or around that neighborhood. I think it like fell into the ocean, or it was like unstable, so they decommissioned it. Something like that. I mean, obviously, it didn't fall into the ocean and kill everybody. Nothing like that. But I think it was like on the water and it was unsafe or something like that. They tore it down, and the neighborhood hasn't had one in quite some time. So they just broke ground on the new one. I also put a list of, do you live near a hazardous site? There's a website you can click on, and you can put your address in and see if you live near. Because listen, we had the Staten Island dump for however many years. Like that, for instance, would be like a radiological, if that's the word, hazardous site. So there's a few of those on Staten Island. It's good to see if you live near one, I guess. If you have any interest, also get in touch with me below, and we'll link up on how to put your address in the site so you can see. This week's news for homeowners. So I don't know if you recall last week, I think I put it in the video. I changed it from sellers and buyers to homeowners and future homeowners, because not everybody living in, a lot of the times I come across news articles that could benefit someone simply living in a house. Maybe they're not ready to sell it, but they live in a house, and this would be interesting for them to know. But so I was like, how do I classify that? And I was like, you know what? Okay, if you live in a house, whether you want to sell it or not sell it, you're a homeowner, right? But that's more geared towards being a seller, obviously. And then a future homeowner would be obviously a buyer, a potential buyer. Maybe they're not in the market now. They will be. Whatever. I'm going on too long on BS, but homeowner news. So obviously this is geared towards sellers or people living in homes. So there was this scam company. It's they would like help you out. It's imagine listing your home for sale for 40 years. So this company would like help you out if you were short on cash. They'd give you some equity from your house or whatever, but then you'd have to sign something where you essentially like guaranteed that for the next 40 years you would list your house with them. So a crazy thing. I think it was North Carolina. They lost their license. They got banned and all that stuff, but crazy. Own a building. Do you own a building? New York's all-electric push is moving along quickly. So this could be scary for you if you own, a big building, a co-op building, an apartment building, something like that, because by like 2025, 26, the steps are happening to get, all this craziness. We're banning fossil fuels and all that stuff. So, just stay on top of like deadlines and stuff, because I know there was some deadline that was like ending at the end of 23, beginning of 24, and if you own a building like this, it could cost you millions of dollars to do, each stage if it's a big building. And there was one of them that was like, okay, it's due. Like, now what? You got to come up with $4 million, and it's so just keep on top of everything, because they'll take your house, they'll take your building right away from you nowadays. So. Future homeowners. This is news for future homeowners. So, dream of home ownership still alive with young buyers. That's interesting. It's a good article touching on how the dream obviously is still there for young buyers, because if you listen to a lot of these communities that I'm involved in, and you may be involved in as well. If you're watching a video like this, you're probably watching other videos on YouTube. It seems like younger people are gearing away from, the American dream isn't that like white picket fence, backyard, dog, owning a house, a family. It seems to be going away from that, where people don't really want to own a house. Like kids or, people in their 20s, 30s, they seem to be happy in these new super luxury buildings with all these amenities, and, it's you have if you own it, it's like a $1,500, $2,000 HOA fee just because you have, rooftop virtual golf and all this crazy stuff. Or if you're renting, it's, $3,500 a month for a one or two, maybe two bedroom. And obviously that's depending on the city. I mean, if you're somewhere in Manhattan, downtown, maybe we're talking $7,000 a month or so. You know what I mean? But it's like the trend seems to be going that way, where it's almost like people don't want to like own anything at all. Like I was listening to very high-minded people that speak every week on a podcast, and they were saying that they could see it going, like these buildings, they even would rent you out like a toaster. Like you don't even have to have that. Like you don't own anything. You don't have to care for anything. You don't have to own it. You just use it and give it back and whatever. So that was a good article. Home buyers are considering tiny homes and fixer uppers. I mean, obviously, right? The climate in the last 2.5 years has been interesting to say the least. A lot of people just are just priced out of the market. You know, maybe people do want to own something, but you can't take on $4,500 a month. Which, if you don't have 150 to put down, 200 to put down on certain properties, it could be that amount of money. So what people just look to, how do I skate around, right? So okay, I'll explore something that needs a ton of work that I never normally would have looked at, but this is my way to get in, or So that was an interesting article. This week's news for investors: commercial foreclosures are up 97%. We all know commercial is having a huge issue right now. Buildings just aren't, since COVID, when the whole world kind of realized, 90% of jobs are like, we don't need to be in the office. We can work from home. It's taking a toll on these buildings now, because now, let's say in 2019, a company was renting out an entire floor because they have 100 employees or whatever, and then all 100 employees worked home for 3 months, 6 months, went to a year, 2 years. Now, like, just to try to get them in the office, it's like, all right, you got to do 2 days back, whatever. They don't need that floor anymore because they don't have 100 people there at one time. They have 10, 20, 5. So now it's okay. We'll only rent half the floor for this lease, and then now we only need a quarter of the floor, and then by the time it's ready for the next renewal, they'll just be like, you know what? We're fully remote. Forget it. So right now, there's a lot of cities and areas where you could buy buildings for pennies on the dollar. I was just reading. I forget the particulars, but it was a building in like Austin, Texas, I think, and a couple of years ago, it was, 400 million, and right now it's like 60 million. It was some drastic drop to where I think it was like an 82% reduction in price. So commercials having trouble to begin with. Foreclosures are up 97% with those. But I posted an article last week where even the regular foreclosures seem to have upticked in January. So we'll see. We'll see what starts happening. Another article I put, New York State housing market data. So, this is based on New York State in total. There was a couple of good little numbers. I'll just break it down for you real quick. So, yearly comparison from... Hold on, someone's calling me. Okay, yearly comparison. We are down 3.8% in closed sales. We're up 8.9% in pending sales. And this is for January of 2024 compared to January of 2023. We're down 1.5% in new listings. But that pending sales, you see that being up, that's in reflection of this market. Once it hit January, people started buying homes. So look, we're up 9% in pending sales. We have just for perspective, it's 7,200 pending sales right now compared to 6,600 last January. Median sales price, we are just about 400,000 in 2024. It was 365 in 2023. And inventory of homes for sale as of January, we're looking at 35,000 houses for sale. Compare that to 2021, you had 47,000 houses for sale. So, interesting. News for renters this week. This was just something I put about rent stabilization. The Supreme Court tossed challenges that were in the way to rent stabilization. So we'll see where all that goes. Featured listings, as usual, 306 Alyssa Way. It is should be, God willing, in contract Monday of this week. We still have the bank, 181 Port Richmond Avenue. We had a church check it out the other day. What was that? Friday or Saturday. A church checked it out. They're calling an emergency meeting to see if it's applicable to their business. So let's hope. 132 Castleton, that is closing next month, God willing. 90 Bay Street Landing, 6K, luxury condo, New York City style all the way. Views of Manhattan, 2 minutes from the ferry, really cool. And that's that for now. Mortgage rate corner, we are over 7% by just a hair. It's 7.08 for a regular 30-year fixed. FHAs are sitting at just about 6.5. Mortgage News Daily is showing that a 30-year FHA is 6.57. So, and in the last 52 months, the low for those was 5.7. The high was 7.4. So we're sitting kind of right in the middle of the high and the low. All of them are a 30-year fixed last 52 weeks. Low was 6.1. High was 8.03. Sitting right in the middle of that as well. So, my weekly blogs with the new overall rate drop we've been enjoying this year. Buyers have gained, on average, about $40,000 in purchasing power. They've also gained very increased competition. So, if a house is priced correctly, you're going to be fighting with other people to get it. I have this buyer that keeps sending me houses. Just about 500 is their limit, maybe 510, something like that. But I think they've learned, but they were sending me houses that were like 530, 529, 549, 539. And like, all right, listen, if we like this, we'll offer 5, or maybe we'll offer 510 if we love it. And, we entertained it once or twice, but just because I wanted them to see, okay, they liked it, we submitted the offer, we lost. Liked it, submitted the offer, lost. It happened 2 or 3 times now in the last week or two, so now we're looking in that, maybe like 489, 499 range, 479. So if we're offering 510, we're really in the game. So there's that. Highlighting Staten Island, it's just taken off. We did last week was episode 79. So this week is already going to be episode 80. It's going great. We have really cool things happening end of this year. So stay in touch with that. And yeah, that's it. This week, I always do like a sign-off, but my sign-off is just, again, I don't want to talk about it again, but ready for launch. Wow, what a meeting. It was great. Come to the next one. And then with rate cuts very likely to come by the spring or summer, now may very well be the bottom. Because once we see that cut, it's going to be nuts. So that's it. Thank you, guys. I will see you next week. Hopefully I'm not holding the microphone and my notes, and I'm kind of more leveled and figured out. So, all right. Have a great week, guys. Thank you.